Hey everybody and welcome to a new One Piece video. I had low expectations for this episode ever since the preview dropped, but considering the rage I heard, I expected an episode as bad as the likes of 1018 or 1050. That was clearly not the case. The good and bad One Piece episode 1126. This was clearly a low priority episode with limited resources, however it still had some nice bits here and there. The director of this episode is Hazuki Omoya. She started directing around late Onigashima and gave us some really solid episodes. She continued into Egghead Part 1 and has proven to be a fast and proficient director, even helping out on other directors' episodes by storyboarding. While this episode had some nice ideas, they ultimately fell flat, mainly due to the extremely poor art and animation in the first half. I genuinely don't remember recent One Piece episodes reaching such lows. The whole Kuma section was just, I better not talk about it. Toshio Deguchi seems to have supervised this section, which isn't surprising considering he's, in my opinion, the worst animation director on One Piece. It doesn't help that this section didn't have any standout key animators. Almost everything about it fell flat and dragged out. That said, it transitioned very nicely into the flashback, which had much better art. Omoya's direction during the Vegapunk section was effective, good use of silence to build emotion for the impact. Props to Kizaru's voice actor, he was a beast in this episode and made Kizaru sound genuinely intimidating with a more serious tone during the attack. As for the Gear 5 stuff, we all know the anime struggles to depict sudden or speed blitz moments. They have this mentality of filling in everything that happens between manga panels, and that doesn't always work well. It's a double-edged sword. It certainly didn't help that during Luffy's rush we got many reaction shots, even Kizaru seemed aware, and that kind of kills the momentum for me. Now let's talk about the savior of the episode, Naoto Shishida. Returning from last week where he nearly animated 3 full minutes solo, he almost carried the entire Snake Man fight. Before Shida, there was an animator with a very similar style called Sora Kawamitsu, presumed to have animated the bits before the Black Mamba. There was some very detailed art and effects, and they were almost identical to Shida's work, so these scenes meshed perfectly. Shida's scene starts right after. It's oddly satisfying how squishy his Gear 4 hands become. The Gatling is pretty tamed for Shida's standards. I'd have preferred have invisible hands over the black lines with no detail. There were some really nice close-ups on Kizaru. My favorite part was definitely Kizaru flying far and coming back with the kick. Shida's effects work has always shined in these types of scenes. The slow motion before the kick had great art and anticipation as well, though the impact could have been a bit better. All of this was followed by fantastic background animation and a 2D robot. I made a video about Shida specifically in the past, so check that out if you haven't. I think he's gonna be very valuable when we get to the gore scene. The Bonnie vs Kizaru section was surprisingly well animated too. The same animator worked on the Shanks episode and gave us some good cuts there as well. The whole section was well drawn with solid corrections, and I liked how the light on Kizaru's body fades with the kick. A very nice touch. Gear 5 surprisingly didn't get any exceptional treatment here in terms of animation, but it had solid drawings. My main problem was the bit where the same pair of eyes switched between different characters. Maybe it's a comedic intentional scene, but it just doesn't work for me, especially with limited animation. Maybe it's intentional, maybe it's due to low resources. I'm not sure, but I just didn't like it. Overall, a decent episode with good and bad sprinkled throughout. The good definitely outweighs the bad for me. It's a stepping stone for the next episode. I made a video about the preview and what to expect. And that should wrap this up. Thanks a lot for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe. See you next time.